Good afternoon. Thank you for your patience. I am the Police Chief Alfredo Ruggiero, Ruggiero. This afternoon we are here in reference to a video that was released from the North Providence Police Department from an incident that occurred on August 28th of 2024 at the Planet Fitness here in North Providence. At that time, a 82-year-old gentleman at the time of the incident, Mr. Juan Muriel, a resident of North Providence, was working out at the Planet Fitness. He went over to use a piece of equipment that appeared to be vacant, and he had a spray bottle, cleaning material in his hand, and proceeded to clean off the piece of equipment. At that time, he encountered Mr. Pass. The audio we did not obtain any audio from the video. We saw a verbal confrontation. We saw Mr. Pass give Mr. Muriel a forearm. Mr. Muriel then fell to the ground and struck his back and his rib area on a piece of equipment that he landed on. From Mr. Muriel's accounts in the video, we ended up charging Mr. Pass with a felony assault of a 60-year-old with bodily harm. From there, we gathered all of our information, passed along to the Attorney General's office, and let them proceed with their case. It was learned this morning that Mr. Pass was put into the diversion program, which is a voluntary, alternative, and rehabilitative pathway within the criminal justice system that allows qualifying offenders to avoid formal conviction, jail time, or a criminal record by completing conditions like counseling, community service, or restitution. With that being said, our agency felt that we brought a strong enough case forward for Mr. Pass to be charged. The courts saw it differently, and we felt it was time to release the video. Any questions?
Colonel, in June, I followed the case law. That's when Mr. Passer's attorney put him in for the diversion program. It was denied, I believe, on August 19th. It was initially denied. What happened in between the period of time where it was denied and it was accepted into it?
John, just like yourself, we were following along once we passed all of our information along. From what we can gather, Mr. Pass's lawyer, who I never found out who was, must have made a deal, talked with the courts, and came up with this alternative, and they ended up going with it ultimately.
What was the reaction of the victim when he found out that this was the path that Mr. Pass was going on? Because it's my understanding, normally the diversion program is for a non-violent offense, and a lot of times it's for a veteran. Mr. Pass doesn't fit either criteria. But what was starting the reaction of the victim?
Mr. Muriel, we reached out to Mr. Muriel, let him know what was taking place. He, of course, was disappointed. He was appreciative on our part for doing our due diligence and to bring the best case that we brought forward. But overall, he was disappointed.
In late October, Mr. Pass posted that it turns out to be no charges. Now, that's what he said. But according to this, that's not accurate. It just, he was put into this diversion program.
Right. But as I just read, the participant can have the charges reduced or dismissed. We'll find out once Court Connects is uploaded, updated from this morning's hearing, and we'll find out the actual circumstances of what took place.
I want to clarify here. So, from my understanding, just looking at Court Connect, it seems that he was accepted into the program in late October. So, I guess what I want to better understand is what exactly happened in court today.
We weren't, we didn't have anybody there. We weren't responsible to have anyone there. Again, we were following this closely. We knew Mr. Pass had his hearing this morning. Shortly thereafter, we made phone calls to find out what actually took place. Again, I'd leave that up to the courts and to Mr. Pass's attorney.
So, just so I understand this, basically, you guys followed up knowing that there was a hearing today, but you're not necessarily certain if the diversion program was implemented on the 30th of October or today.
Well, today was the continuation, the progress review from October. Today was the progress review.
Yes, yeah.
If Pass was put into the program in October, why is North Providence Police just speaking out today?
Because it wasn't definite that he was going to be accepted into the program until we had heard word this morning.
Of the progress review?
Yes.
Colonel, when we look at that video, or I should ask, what do you see when you look at the video that was released tonight?
John, I think it's self-explanatory. Mr. Muriel, the victim, it appeared that he thought the machine was vacant. He went over to what it looks like to clean it off with some type of cleaning material, a spray bottle and a rag. Words were exchanged, again, unknown what they were. Mr. Pass obviously didn't agree with the words that were exchanged and gave him a forearm. And being an 82-year-old, frail man, let's call it what it was, lost his balance after the push. And if you looked closely at the video, there was a piece of equipment on the floor that his lower back and his rib area struck, and that's where he sustained his injuries.
Yep. If someone does that, someone watching this, should they be under the impression they will be charged with assault? In other words, legally that is not acceptable behavior, not only in that setting, but any setting. Someone, you clearly see him knock him down.
Yes.
So if someone does that tonight, tomorrow, going forward, should they expect to be charged?
Yes, they will be charged,
They will be charged.
for assault in this case. As I stated, Mr. Muriel, being over 60 years old,
Yep.
felony assault against a person over 60 with bodily harm.
What exactly is the North Providence Police Department calling for today?
Just to bring it out, I held off quite a while. I know John sent a couple of different requests. I didn't want to taint with the video what was taking place in the court system, but just to kind of wrap up the investigation that is now going over a year and a half, just to wrap this up and let people know the outcome.
Colonel, in your mind, unless something changes with the court, the police department considers the matter closed? Unless something happens with the judge and the diversion program?
Yes.
Okay.
Again, we were very confident originally charging Mr. Pass with the charges that we brought against him.
Yeah. And when you look at that video, nothing has changed from when the charges were brought?
Correct.
Okay.
I want to give you the opportunity to respond to Pass's attorney, Craig Montecalvo. Just to give you a quote that we got from him today. It was, quote, and this was ahead of today's press conference, it's been an absolute pleasure representing Patrick. He's an asset to his community. He's a responsible, law-abiding member of his town and society. He's never been in any trouble, and the way this case has been resolved has been perfectly appropriate given all the circumstances. What's your thought on that?
I would respectfully disagree. If we thought that there were no charges to be brought, we would have never done it in the first place. And as I had mentioned back when this all first came out, we all have bad days. We all make decisions, split-second decisions that we may regret later. A person can be an outstanding citizen, does well for the community, but sometimes emotions take over. And at this point, during that incident, I think that's what took place. Emotions took over, an incident occurred, and we didn't agree with what took place, and we charged accordingly.
Do you think he's getting special treatment because he was a patriot?
I do not.
Colonel, how often, your experience in law enforcement, do you see defendants go into this diversion program? Like, is it frequent? how often does that happen where the department, someone's charging and somehow they get placed into that?
It is frequent, especially if it fits the criteria where, as I read a short time ago, no criminal history, things to that nature. It has been, done over my course of my career. I've seen it numerous times, to be honest.
Can we ask the mayor?
Absolutely.
Ms. Mayor, when this happened, you said the video speaks for itself. What should people take away from how this has now played out?
To me, it doesn't, at the time it was, who this gentleman is, and I don't think that matters. When you look at that video and, and you push or hurt an 82-year-old person, I don't think that there's any room for forgiveness. I support what the police department has done and how they've handled this, and to me it's just a little disappointing in hearing what the attorney had to say of a law-abiding citizen, and I don't say that Mr. Pass is not, but just because anyone is a law-abiding citizen, should you be able to do this? In our opinion, no. So, a little disappointed, and hopefully it doesn't encourage, I won't say encourage, but let people think that they could do this and enter a program. And then it depends who it is. I mean, maybe if it's someone younger, didn't know any better, then maybe they should be put into some type of a program, but not this particular situation.
Does it trouble you that Mr. Pass seemingly has shown no remorse at the beginning? He's coming out saying wrongfully charged. I was vindicated. No charges here should have been brought. What can you tell us about that?
I disagree. I disagree. We, being the colonel, this police department is here for one reason: to protect our citizens. And again, you look at the video. That's a sin.
Do you understand why the victim is disappointed?
To me, that's a no-brainer, John. I mean, if that were my dad, it's a disappointment. I think anyone that looks at that has to be disappointed for this gentleman.
Chief, the victim, is he, obviously an 82-year-old man, a fall like that can be quite serious. Is he still suffering from any injuries from that fall?
Not that we're aware of. We initially he signed a waiver for us to get his medical records. I believe he went to Roger Williams Hospital the day after the incident. Severe swelling in that area, again, the back and the rib area. But to my knowledge, not that we're aware of, that he is still suffering today.
Chief, I have just one final question. This case, initially, diversion was denied by the Attorney General's office, scheduled to go to trial in November, then suddenly he is accepted. Are you troubled by the optics of this? That they do look like someone's getting special treatment, not from the police, but just within the system. Would anybody else watching, would they be allowed into this program where then the person is saying, oh, see, I was wrong, there's no charges here, there's nothing to see, I was wrongfully accused?
We don't know what took place behind closed doors, the meetings that may have been had, the meetings with the attorney, Mr. Pass's attorney, with the court system. Again, looking at the diversion program, no criminal history, things to that nature.
But it was a violent
In our opinion, yes, it was, and again, I know I'm repeating, that's why we went with the charge that we went with originally, and we were confident that it was going to, he was going to be charged and dealt with accordingly. So we did our due diligence, and I'm proud of the men and the women of the agency for what they do on a day-to-day basis here. Good? Just in, the snowstorm's taking a right in New Jersey.
Good.
Fingers crossed.
Make it happen.
Thank you all.